Шановні колеги, ми
Esteemed colleagues, we are starting our next press briefing, and I am pleased to invite now our respectful guest, Mr. Ertugrul, Apakan, Chief Monitor of the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, and Mr. Michael Bociurkiw, OSCE Special Monitoring Mission to Ukraine spokesman, will be talking about the plans of OSCE to extend their plans.
The chief monitor of the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission to Ukraine, and Michael Bociurkiw, the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission to Ukraine spokesman.
Good morning, dear friends and members of the distinguished press. This is a briefing session for the press, and in a brief manner, I would like to brief you on the ongoing activities of SMM. And if you have questions, I would like to bring clarifications to your answers to your questions. As you know, we are a civilian mission, OSCE civilian mission. This mission has been established by the decision of the Permanent Council of OSCE, operating in Ukraine on the basis of decision taken by 57 countries. We came here in March with a number of 20 monitors. Now we are more than 300, representing 41 participating countries. So we have monitors from 41 countries. We have one headquarters in Kiev and 10 teams in 10 oblasts. We are now in the process of expansion. We are operating on the basis of impartiality and objectivity. OSCE SMM is reporting back to Vienna, to Permanent Council of OSCE through the chairmanship. And from time to time, and very regularly, I'm going to Vienna and reporting to the Council as a whole about our activities and developments with regard to Ukraine. I wish to speak about ongoing activities with regard to ceasefire. At the moment, more than 1/3 of the whole mission is functioning in the security zone. which have been established by Minsk Protocol and Minsk Memorandum. And we welcome, also encourage, and all steps to de-escalate and normalize the situation in eastern Ukraine. From the very start, just at the same hours, Minsk documents have been announced, we were there. From the very start, at the same hour. In this context, SMM has been monitoring the creation and work of the Joint Center for Control and Coordination, which has been established by the Minister of Defense of Ukraine in cooperation with military representatives of the Russian Federation. We hope, SMM hopes that this Joint Center for Control and Coordination, GCCC, will help to establish an effective and durable ceasefire and put an end to the armed confrontation in eastern Ukraine. SMM will continue to monitor the work of the GCCC in order to be properly informed on its progress. And I should tell you that SMM monitors are not deployed only inside the security zone, but also in eastern Ukraine and throughout the country, because we are present throughout the country. Our mandate is with Ukraine, the whole Ukraine. That's the reason I am repeating, we are also in eastern Ukraine and throughout the country, not only in this security zone. We are contributing and facilitating the work of this joint center. But I should mention that it's worth emphasizing that GCC is not an OSCE mission. We are monitoring and we are reporting back to the Permanent Council. And I will repeat, our job is to contribute, to facilitate, and to monitor. But we will be continuing in whole eastern Ukraine and throughout the country. With regard to unmanned aerial vehicles, I should say that we are ready on the part of SMM to work or to implement this project. We have completed the technical preparations on the part of SMM. The company Shibel have arrived in Kiev on Sunday, 5 October. The drones are here, they are unmanned, and they are trying to complete the project as quickly as possible. We are also looking forward for the completion of these preparations. On the part of SMM, we did our preparations about drones, and drones arrived. what I would like to say further, with regard to border security, border monitoring, we are ready to take up the job. We completed our preparations. And the expansion of SMM will also increase our effectiveness in eastern Ukraine and the whole country. What I would like to say that my intention is to brief you on these basic points on a regular basis so that through you we could reach to the Ukrainian public and share with them our ongoing activities and programs, and so that we could do a more effective dialogue and channeling with the public. We are here in order to be helpful, and contribute to the betterment and normalization of the country. We will continue with the same spirit, with the same understanding, and with a full expanded team as a civilian mission. We are not a peacekeeping mission. We are not a peace enforcement mission. We are a monitoring mission, but we should do ceasefire monitoring at the same time. At the moment, that's all what I would like to share with you. I am ready for your questions. With regard to MH17, we are ready to continue with the work. We are closely cooperating with the Ukrainian authorities. We are thankful to them. We are also cooperating with the countries involved with MH17. Be sure that we will continue to sponsor the work with regard to reintegration of bodies, passengers' belongings, and other things, and we will be with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Apakan. I believe maybe Michael can make his statement, and then we will have a few questions from.
I just wanted to, in terms of the numbers, emphasize that as of today, we received a little bit over 30 more new monitors. So the operating strength of monitors alone is around 300 at the moment. And as Ambassador emphasized, a good portion of those are for deployment to eastern Ukraine. So that's just the emphasis I want to make, and then we'll take some questions.
Thank you so much. Шановні колеги, є в нас запитання?
Have any questions, dear colleagues? Any questions? Good afternoon, TSN 1+1 channel. The President of Ukraine said yesterday that he called upon the OSCE mission to extend so that the number is 1,500 in Ukraine. How quickly is it possible? Is it possible in general to have 1,500? The mission doesn't operate in hot points. So how do you believe the effective monitoring will be taking place in Ukraine? How many drones are there in Ukraine, and how many more do you need?
Thank you for the question. I have to say that the mission is operating on the hot points. We have been in Donetsk from the very start. We were present there. Still, we are present in Donetsk, just near the airport. And my people are monitoring the exchange of fire in this site near to the Donetsk airport. Similarly, we have been in Luhansk during the shelling time at the city, but some of our building has been shelled. That's the reason we left the city for a while. But every day our teams are entering the city. We are in the vicinity of Luhansk. We are in Mariupol. So we are going to the Balchova. We are going to the crash site. So we are in the hot places. But there are areas which full fighting in the past was taking place. It was not possible for a civilian mission to take part. Secondly, we are expanding. We are expanding. We are respecting the Ukrainian leadership, the perspective given by them. We are respecting. We will act in order to expand our team properly in order to meet the needs laid down by the Ukrainian leadership and Ukrainian authorities. We are cooperating closely with the Ukrainian authorities in order to make our work more effectively. With regard to UAVs, you know that there is an SMM UAV project. There are also friendly countries who are trying to help us. We welcome these projects, and the perspective laid down by His Excellency the President, of course, gives us also a perspective to increase the scope of our activities. We will do our best in order to mitigate with the challenges, particularly with regard to border monitoring. We are doing our preparations. I will not go to the numbers, but be sure that we are working on it.
And on the UAVs, as you know, as Ambassador said, there are 2 now in the country, 2 more on the way. We're not limited to 4, but we have to emphasize that these are very high technology complex devices. Aside from documentation work, import work, it requires an operating team. Also, in terms of getting the parts available for these unmanned aerial vehicles, all this takes a while, but we understand that the expectations are very high for these UAVs to come here. We want to also emphasize that they are not going to replace our monitors. They're actually going to enhance our capabilities to monitor the security zone and other parts of the East. So they'll kind of be an eye in the sky that will complement the mission's work.
So what Michael is making, yes, there will be UAVs, but at the same time, our teams patrolling on foot and by car at the same time on the border area.
We would take just one more question.
Добрий день, телеканал Новин 26.
TV channel 24. Could you please tell Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, informed that he withdraws some troops from the eastern Ukraine. Maybe the representatives of your mission have already observed some movement of Russian army, the withdrawal of it.
Well, this is the unilateral decision of Russian Federation. We have a separate border mission, and any act which will be helpful to the escalation of Ukraine or any act which participating states takes, it's up to your discretion, and I'm sure these acts would be helpful. Thank you.
And I'll to that. I think you're talking about the JCCC. If you are we did play a role in monitoring those meetings, not every day, but it's important that we fulfill our responsibility of monitoring, establishing the facts. But again, we'd like to point out that, as Ambassador said earlier, that we're not part of the JCCC, it's a separate entity. But as any of the talks that are going on, it's important that the mission monitor and report to our 57 participating states. So I think also, you know us well enough by now, we're an impartial, independent mission that we don't normally want to get too much involved in commenting on matters at the higher levels. But as Ambassador stated again, we welcome anything that will contribute to a durable and lasting ceasefire.
Thank you so much.
What maybe I should add, in the context of GCCC, I have to say that we have not yet to witness or be informed of any withdrawal of heavy weapons. I should underline this fact.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you so much, Michael, for a heads up for briefing us. Very much looking forward to hear from you soon in Ukraine Crisis Media Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Колеги, брифінг РНБО за 1 хвилинку. Дякую.
The briefing of the National Security and Defense Council will take place in a minute.
With regard to Putin's irate rejection, right things.
Yeah, I mean, I clarified. He was talking about the JCs.
Maybe I will speak to
Yeah.